I watched a movie last night. The Shade is about a middle child having to be the man of the house and take care of his little brother while also dealing with the loss of his father and also dealing with his estranged brother coming home from college. So the story follows Ryan, the middle child, and he is suffering from panic attacks. And if you've ever had a panic attack or ever had a loved one and seen them have a panic attack, you feel helpless because panic attacks feel like you're going into cardiac arrest and you're dying. So Ryan is very stressed out because he has to deal with his father shooting himself and then also his brother who everybody loves. And it's like, oh yeah, like your brother, he was like the star athlete, goes off to college and kind of just abandons him to take care of his mother and his little brother. So I feel like there's a lot of animosity there because usually like when the dad's gone, the oldest brother steps up and takes charge of the house, but in this case the older brother left, leaving the middle child to take care of the household. And there's just a lot of resentment there. So the story kind of follows how Ryan is dealing with these panic attacks and also trying to just live his day to day and try to his best to continue his dreams, although he probably knows that those dreams aren't going to be met because there's just so much responsibility that he has in taking care of his little brother. And his mom is very distant. She's like a nighttime nurse, but she never tells him like when she's picking up extra shifts and never coming home, so that's even more stress. He's also kind of like the father figure of his hangout group. Like he's the one that's in charge. People go to him when there's a problem. They look for him for authority. And so this Ryan character is just like constantly stressed out, constantly having panic attacks. And ever since his brother comes home, there's like that tension in the air, so you can't even relax when he's at home. And then he's also beginning to see hallucinations, and then from there you kind of just like follow how everything unfolds. This movie is definitely like an entry level horror. It's almost barely a horror. It's more of a suspenseful drama, but I can understand, and I don't want to give it away, why it's being categorized as a horror. But it reminded me of like, and this is no shade, but it reminded me of like One Tree Hill meets Hereditary, because it was very dramatic and the drama was between these brothers, but then it was also kind of eerie and creepy the way Hereditary is. So I'm giving it a lot by comparing it to Hereditary, but that was like the only like two examples that I can think of how you could like describe this movie to someone who's never seen it. I thought this movie was really good. I really like the cinematography in this movie. I thought Tom Fitzgerald did an amazing job capturing the moment and bringing us in. There was a lot of like slow zooms, slow pull outs. There was just a lot of close ups when the story was happening. Like we would start at a distance, and the next thing you know, we're in somebody's face. But the changes were so subtle that you don't even realize it because you're so enthralled with the story. Its cinematography, it was just really great. This movie was very much a character piece, a character analysis, which I appreciated because this movie was a slow burn, but it was giving us enough time to build the world around this main character Ryan. It was giving us enough time to see what the relationship dynamics between his girlfriend, he and his best friend, he and his coworkers, he and his therapist, he and his brother, he and his little brother. It gave us enough time to understand this character and giving us reasons why we want to follow Ryan, and also it allowed us to be more empathetic with this character. This character is going through a lot and he's holding so much weight on his shoulder. And at first I was like, why does this character look so old? But I thought maybe it was intentional casting because he does look a little bit older than the rest of his classmates. But if you know anything about stress ages you a lot. And I think the way the makeup artist is slowly made his face look hollow throughout the movie was a great choice. So this movie played really great attention to details. What I really, really liked about this movie is the dialogue felt so natural. It sounded as if it was taken from a real conversation that had been had and given to us in this script. It just the questions that Ryan asks people is just such a believable response to what they're saying. Like everybody's trying to help him, everybody is trying to get him to take his medication and etc etc, but then his rebuttal to them talking to him is just so genuine and such a just such a smart response. Like, for example, the mom came in here and was like, hey, is everything okay? James mentioned that he was late to school 3 times this week, and immediately Ryan was like, are you coming in here to ask me if I'm okay, or are you coming here to want to know why James was late? You know what I mean? Just it just felt really real, and the conversations just felt like they were would have really been had. The writing in this movie is great. Without giving too much away, this movie does a really good job at discussing family dynamics, relationship dynamics between your friends and your girlfriends. It does a really good job of showing us what mental illness may look like, or what to look out for. It does a really good job of just like expressing itself, and it does a really good job of showing us exactly what it wants to tell us without being so on the nose with everything, and not browbeating us, which I really appreciate. What I will say I didn't like about this movie, and it's just personal. I wasn't a big fan of how it ended. I felt like the ending could have been so much stronger. The ending does make sense for what the writer is trying to say, but I honestly felt like there was just so much tension and so much suspense built up. I felt like we were like going on a roller coaster. We're going, and we're going, and we're going, and that at the end it was like boop, and that was it. Like, we're going up this roller coaster. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, when's it gonna drop? And then it drops, and it was like 2 foot drop, and that was it. You know what I mean? I just felt like they gave us so much detail and so much great work in the beginning for the ending to be wrapped so cute. I just felt like the ending was just too cute. It worked, but it was just too cute. Anyway, it was a great movie for me. Again, a slow burn, but a necessary and deserving slow burn. It wasn't that horrifying for it to be considered a horror on Amazon Prime is what it's categorized. I definitely would think it's more of a high-end suspenseful drama, but nonetheless, it was really good. The lighting was really good. The way that they had overhead lighting, it was just a really good movie to pay attention to, which is very beautiful. Have you guys seen it? Have you guys heard of it? Let me know in the comments. Also, what did you guys watch last night? Until the next movie, I'm Hey Shantae, and I'll see you later.